It's Window Wandering Wednesday here on the GoGo Joe Show, and I could not be more excited about this week. We've got Chinese AI girlfriends, we got Japanese matchmaking services, we got Funimation buying Crunchyroll, we got Boston Dynamics getting sold, we got tiny robots, we got Enions, we got gene therapy, we got stunning snowflakes, and first, we're gonna dive into OnlyFans and their business. Let's wander. It's the Joe Show. If you're not familiar with how Window Wandering Wednesday works, it's something like this. We look out of windows from around the world, travel around, see where we end up. All the while, I'm talking about the most interesting news I can find from the past week. You learn something, you see somewhere cool, I learn something, you hear what I think about stuff. Let's see where we wander to first. So here we are in our first window. It's in Manhattan, New York, some little small park in Manhattan. Pretty nice little window here, high quality. First up on today's discussion point is OnlyFans, from adult content to multi-billion-dollar empire. Yesterday, I did a video for Technology Tuesday about OnlyFans, which is a platform that's kind of copying OnlyFans. But if you're not familiar with OnlyFans, let's talk about it. It is a creator-centric website, and usually when you think about the creator economy, you think about Patreon. And between 2013 and 2019, the platform Patreon paid out a whopping $1 billion plus to its creators of all sorts: podcasters, fitness influencers, photographers, writers, musicians, everything. But there's an unlikely competitor now blowing it out of the water, which is OnlyFans. According to a recent Bloomberg profile on the website, which allows people to charge fans for access to videos, photos, or personalized communications, is on pace to dish out $2 billion this year alone. It took Patreon almost 6 years to get to $1 billion plus, and this year alone, OnlyFans is blowing it out of the water by doubling it. It's pretty obvious though, sex sells, and that is what OnlyFans is in the business of. It's a platform using or empowering attractive females, selling the opposite of G-rated photos to usually male buyers. At least that's how it started. Today, the biggest accounts from all around the world are like Instagram influencers such as Jem Wolfe and Andrea Vasali. But adult performers and sex workers alike who are unable to meet clients in person have taken to the platform as a way to earn a living during the pandemic. I actually know some personal friends of mine that have taken to the platform and are doing quite well on it. Also, let's talk about the founder. His name is Tim Stokely, and he's a serial entrepreneur. He founded a successive series of startups throughout the 2010s prior to the launch of OnlyFans in 2016. He started a website called Glam Worship, which facilitated transactions for sexual fetishes known as financial domination. Custom For You let customers order personalized videos. It sounds kind of like, what's that? Cameo. Where you can get celebrities to do personalized videos for you. And then 1-to-1 With was a marketplace where tradespeople like plumbers or electricians could sell their expertise. Stokely told Bloomberg that these ventures gave him key insights into the creator-fan relationship. Plus, the guy clearly knew that sex sells. He was into fetish stuff before making OnlyFans, and he probably experienced the exact problem of selling photos or people wanting to sell photos doing that website Glam Worship, which then he just pivoted into OnlyFans. I could easily see that connection. And mainstream celebrities are starting to take notice. Musicians like Cardi B and The Weeknd used OnlyFans as promotional platform. Wait, The Weeknd did too? Interesting. Actress Bella Thorne pulled a single day record of $1 million when she joined the platform. And all the while, sex workers began expressing concern that the likes of Bella Thorne, The Weeknd, and Cardi B would, quote, gentrify the platform and take away much needed income streams from them. OnlyFans growth outside of adult content seems to be inevitable at this point. With already 85 million plus users and 1 million creators, OnlyFans is adding 500,000 users a day, and with a 20% take on the $2 billion in sales, it will bring home a net revenue of about $400 million in 2020. If Patreon is already worth $1.2 billion, the sky is the limit for OnlyFans, or at least the limit for them is what content they want to put up on OnlyFans, but it's only just begun for them. The word is getting out. Super interesting platform. Yeah, how crazy is that? Let me know in the comments below. Are you using OnlyFans? Did you know about OnlyFans? What do you think about OnlyFans? And do you want to sign up for OnlyFans? Maybe I got some sexy listeners in my viewing audience here. Let me know what you're going to do. I am not an OnlyFans user at the moment, nor am I on there personally. Maybe I'll get on there and throw up some, some butt pictures. No, we probably won't do that. Yeah, who knows? Seems like anything could happen. But on that note of creators and making money, there was one other small snippet I wanted to get into here. And that is YouTube megastar David Dobrik. I'm not sure who that is. I think maybe he was a kid and now he's in more like a grown-up. I'm not sure. But he sold 17,000 puzzles at $30 a pop in just a few hours recently. How did he do that? He did a thing where the first person to put the puzzle together and took a photo of it would win $100,000. Meanwhile, Dobrik netted millions. Genius idea. Reminds me of this book. When I was a kid, there was like a treasure hunt attached to it. You could read through the book and try to solve the clues and the riddles, and then you could actually go to a real life place. It would lead you to a GPS coordinate, and the author had planted these jewel encrusted like insects. They were insect statues that had jewels all over them, and they were worth upwards of $50, $60, $100,000, and you could go find them. It was a real life treasure hunt linked to a book. Super interesting and reminds me of it. So yeah, that was OnlyFans. I actually made a list of things that I want to talk about here for today, as I mentioned at the top of the show. So we're going to open up a new window, and then we're going to hop into all of these other topics. And there's so much interesting stuff happening this week. It's so exciting. Starting with Chinese AI girlfriends. As I open up a new window here, that's why the screen is black. I don't know where we're going to travel to. Seems like we traveled to somewhere with a beach. Oh, this is a lovely window. What a great view. This is in Mountain Lake, Virginia, USA. Clearly not happening right now, as this looks like summertime. We got a group of people hanging out in a flamingo, a huge flamingo inner tube. Looks lovely, man. I wish that I could go there. Looks just so great, especially after the crappy year that we've had. Would love to be out on the beach right now, just hanging out in a large flamingo inflatable thing. Where is my story about this Chinese girlfriend? Give it to me. That's the only thing, is I didn't mark which newsletters was in each of these. Okay, Joe, where is it? Other snippet, if you're not familiar with it, Headspace is a great mindfulness and meditation app. Just partnered with YouTube to create a mindfulness series and meditation series on YouTube. You get to hear Andy Petticombe do his meditations. I'm looking forward to it. I've liked Headspace for a long time. I've been a user. Used it 3 years ago. Used it this year. I think it's a great app. I love Andy's voice. Highly suggest it. Also, check it out when it comes out on Netflix. So here we go. The AI girlfriend, which is seducing China's lonely men. Xiaois is an artificial intelligence-driven chatbot first developed by Microsoft researchers in 2014. That was a twist I was not expecting already. Microsoft were the ones who developed this. So Bill Gates is going on all about vaccines. He's always talking about how he's helping out with vaccines, when in reality, on the side, this guy was developing this sexy chatbot. It appears as an 18-year-old who flirts, jokes, and sexts her human partners. Xiao's algorithm tries to work out how to become the perfect companion for whomever is interacting with it. The company uses its algorithms to provide financial analysis, content production, and virtual assistance. Critics are concerned that the AI's growing influence is creating serious ethical and privacy risks. The bot has had several scandals, sometimes discussing topics deemed too unacceptable by Chinese media regulators, resulting in the creators working on an enormous filter system to prevent the bot from touching on certain subjects. That's no fun, though. How are you going to have a flirty bot that is not going to talk about butt stuff? Come on. Xiaois follows strict data protection guidelines to prevent an individual's privacy. So that is spelled XIAOICE. Perhaps you can try checking it out. I'm not sure, but that is Xiaois. How do you feel about AI girlfriends? I think this is an actual really interesting thing. It's inevitable that this is going to happen and that people are going to fall in love with chatbots, with human-looking robots, and that we're going to have, people like choosing an artificial intelligence as their life partner. Especially because it can become the thing that you want it to be. Like, maybe you can't find that person in real life, and this thing can become that thing that you're looking for. It's very interesting, and I think it's cool that it is creating serious ethical and privacy discussions, as it should. The weird part, though, is it's also using this algorithm for financial analysis. I don't think those two things are linked. I don't think that Xiaois, that 18-year-old flirty chatbot, is looking at your financial data, unless maybe you signed up for Timothy's other platform for some financial domination. But I don't think that is happening. But if you want to check it out, if you're a lonely man, you can check out Xiaois, the artificial intelligence-driven chatbot that'll flirt with you and become your perfect partner. And this is kind of, I guess, antithetical to the other story here, which is Japanese matchmaking. The government is actually doing matchmaking in Japan. This should be an interesting kind of, not expose, but an interesting foil, an interesting, why can't I think of the word here? The opposite of a Chinese AI girlfriend. Where is it here? God, Joe, you gotta get on your newsletter game. What is going on? Where is this? Japan. Here we go. Japan matchmaking. Chinese netizens curious of Japanese AI blind date program. The story is that Chinese people are apparently curious about the AI blind date program. But the Japanese government has a matchmaking program that uses AI to recommend partners based on potential fit between people rather than on conditions such as age and income. So the Japanese government has created some sort of Tinder or OkCupid Match.com for its citizens that suggests partners based on best fit and not conditions such as how close you are in age or your income bracket, but as how well you would work out together. And I think that this is happening because Japan has a problem with babies right now, where it's an aging population and nobody is having children because Japanese culture is very competitive and people have taken to work and putting their life into work instead of on making families. Plus, it's already a very dense place. Tokyo is very close together, and so a lot of people probably feel like there's too many Japanese people, and so they had a problem with young people not getting together. But what does this have to do with China? Chinese netizens, or web citizens, net citizens, have begun asking if China could also use the technology to find marriage partners for its citizens. The marriage rate in China has also continued to decline since 2014, and experts say the low marriage rate is a result of changing lifestyles, the high cost of marriage, and a loss in confidence about marriage due to an increasing divorce rate. While AI might improve efficiency and save on labor costs associated with setting up blind dates, it cannot control how people will feel about someone else. Thanks for pointing that out. That's pretty obvious. Once you meet somebody in person, your energies might be different, though you might look like a great match on paper. Doesn't always work out in real life. I do think it is interesting, though, that in the US and in Europe, we turn to dating services. And in these other countries, the government has said, no, we know what's best for you. We're going to take all of your data because we have it, and we're going to suggest matches for you. I think that is fascinating. I really wonder if they're including things like, I don't know, your hobbies, your interests, what movies you're going to, what you're looking up on the internet. Like, how much data are they pulling in and putting into this project that they have? But you can check it out, Japanese AI blind date program. If you're moving to Japan, maybe you can sign up for it and you can find your perfect Japanese match. Pretty rad. Let's move on from this place, even though it's so nice. Let's pull up a new window because these co-eds down here in this flamingo thing were getting a little too handsy with each other. They didn't use the Japanese matchmaking program and it did not approve. Next window here is in Columbus, Ohio, as we get to some more stories about technology. Nice, lovely window in a backyard with a bird feeder. Great window to talk about robotic dogs from Boston Dynamics. Now, if you haven't seen it, and I feel like you have, Boston Dynamics makes those robotic dogs and bipedal robots that can walk, and there was a guy like kicking it and it wouldn't fall over. They were doing backflips. Like, they built these incredible robotic walking devices that don't fall over, that have balance, that have stabilization, that pretty much were better than humans walking around. And they have been acquired, so they got sold. I didn't even know they were in the process of looking for a buyer or that they were even interested in being acquired. But Hyundai has purchased Boston Dynamics for around $921 million. Not even $1 billion valuation. I feel like that company definitely sold too early, and that's going to turn into an Instagram type purchase that is going to return dividends for Hyundai. It is the first acquisition headed by Hyundai's new chairperson, Chung Yoi-sun, since he took the job in just October. Rumors of the acquisition have been circulating since early November, and obviously in the article that I'm reading from, you can see a gallery of the robots which they have created. I'm going to click on the article and see if we can get some robots here. It's on the wrong screen, of course. Hyundai buys 80% controlling stake in Boston Dynamics. Oh, so they just bought 80% of the shares available. So there we go. Yes, again, that's the Boston Dynamics robot. Clearly this was untested with, I believe that is, oh my God, I can't remember his name. It's not Jamie from Mythbusters. It's Adam Savage from Mythbusters. So that's the Boston Dynamics robot. If you remember it, if you haven't seen it, this thing walks around. You can kick it and it doesn't fall over. Or if it does, it can actually right itself. The thing is pretty damn impressive. Can do things like rescue missions, all sorts of really cool stuff. Get out of here, video. We don't want to see you. Yeah, and then it made headlines recently with this door opening robot. So this is Spot, the mini headless, or the mini robot. But then it also had a robot with an attachment that could open doors. So this thing could like really go into negotiation situations and do some pretty crazy stuff. But that is, required for less than $1 billion. Wonder what Hyundai is going to do with it. Very interesting acquisition. Hyundai always been on the lookout for very cool technology. And maybe the next thing that they could buy is this tiny little robot, which is a tiny water-based robot that is powered by light. It can walk, move cargo, and even dance. Researchers at Northwestern University have created a new robot that looks and behaves like a little tiny aquatic animal. It can perform a variety of functions, including moving objects, catalyzing chemical reactions, very important, delivering therapeutics, and more. It is made from a material composed 90% of water, with a nickel skeleton that changes shape in response to light and magnetic fields. When light hits the robot, the material expels water, causing the robot's legs to stiffen, and thus it can move by being pulsed with light. So it's stiffen, unstiffen, stiffen, unstiffen. Super awkward. And so it can walk. The robots are currently the size of a dime, but future versions will be small enough to operate on a microscopic level. Interesting. Very cool. Especially if we can be absolutely insane. Let's look at this little robot here. It is, let's see what it looks like. Come on, TechCrunch. I hate these things. These cookies. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Give me the GIF. Give me the GIF. Come on, internet. Give me the GIF. Man, is this loading slowly. Holy cow. Crunch those numbers. Give us the gift. So there we go. It's kind of like waddling as light is hitting it. So they say it's about the size of a dime, but it also is about as tall as a dime on its side as well. Like, this is actually a pretty big robot. Very cool though. If it can get even smaller and, I don't know, travel through our bloodstream and break down and just like be expelled in the urine, and travel around and, I don't know, monitor our humans, like that would be pretty rad. I mean, even at this point, it's pretty cool that it can crawl around like this. Probably put that down your toilet. Get some information on why your toilet is clogged. Very cool though. It's a tiny little robot powered by light. We got Boston Dynamics. We got tiny little walking water robots. We got this nice little hummingbird over here in Columbus, Ohio, as we move on and say bye-bye to our hummingbird brand. Amy's Window over in Berlin, Germany, just an hour and a half away from me. To talk about something that's not really related to Germany at all, and that is anime. If you know me, you know that I like anime. My close friends know that I'm an anime fan, and we got a window here with a cat, it looks like, over in Berlin, Germany. Some sort of like fence in front of this window. Interesting. So Sony's Funimation acquires anime streaming service Crunchyroll for $1.175 billion. Crunchyroll, great service. I use it so I can catch up on Naruto or other Crunchyroll originals like Tower of God and God of High School. Weird that they both have God in the name. But yeah, Crunchyroll just started this year doing Crunchyroll originals. They really quickly became the Netflix of anime here, moving into production and also listing everyone else's shows. They're huge. They were the big competitor to Funimation, which has now acquired it. Sony Picture Entertainment, which is based in Japan, has bought Crunchyroll, which I think is based in the US, through its Funimation subsidiary. It's an American anime distributor. The deal is estimated to be worth $1.175 billion. So by adding Crunchyroll to its portfolio, Sony will achieve more influence over Japan's anime industry. Sony has been involved in anime production for decades, and it has been strengthening its portfolio of international streaming services through acquisitions over the last 5 years. Crunchyroll has been growing its brand successfully in the recent years, launching a yearly convention in 2017, creating its own games publishing label in 2018. It's mobile games, and purchasing Europe's branch of Viz Media in 2019. Crunchyroll has been on a tear, and it has resulted in its acquisition by Funimation, giving Sony ultimate anime power. I don't know if there's really any other big players now fighting the Crunchyroll or streaming against Funimation or Crunchyroll. So this to me is actually kind of becoming more monopolistic. The only thing that could really add to this portfolio at this point is like Studio Ghibli, which is like the, I guess, Disney of Japan. And then maybe even Funimation, if they really want to diversify their portfolio here, they could open up some theme parks like Disney and have a Funimation theme park or a Crunchyroll theme park, whatever they want to call it, and really have like an anime land. That would be absolutely incredible for their brand. It would be the first of its kind. Japan recently unveiled that Gundam that is like like 16 stories tall walking robot. It's definitely attached to a hydraulic mechanism, but it's still a big old Gundam. They could do that. And there's also, I believe, a Pokemon world and a Naruto world over in Japan, which could be, I don't know, integrated into this Funimation Crunchyroll thing. Very cool. Very big news if you are an anime fan. Good job to Crunchyroll for their awesome valuation on becoming a unicorn. Oh my God, we got so much more to go. And look at this cute cat behind me, just looking totally at the camera, inspecting what's going on, saying hello. What is up, little guy? He's off. Let's grab a new window already. I feel like when there's too many things going on in the background, when there's actual humans or a cat right up in your face, you get distracted from what's really important, which is the first hologram machine that projects life-size full-color projections. What the heck are we talking about right now? This looks like somewhere in my home state. Yeah, in Indiana, USA, not my home state, but right next door. I grew up in Wisconsin. This looks remarkably like the Midwest. But we're talking about holograms. Maybe these birds are holograms. I doubt it, though. Portal, spelled Portl, is a fully self-contained hologram machine that projects life-size holograms in full color. It can be used to project live images of a person anywhere in the world. A built-in camera allows the person in the hologram to even view their audience, and it features touchscreens so that people can interact with the image. They're starting to appear worldwide in malls, airports, and museums. Each machine costs around $60,000 US. A miniature version of the device will be released in the near future, and there are videos in the article that show this in action. I gotta bring this up. We gotta see what this is. This is incredible. Holograms. We've seen them. Tupac Shakur performed posthumously on the stage of Coachella, and now we're finally bringing holograms into reality. So here it is. It's an actual box that is projecting a full-sized hologram. That's incredible. So this guy's dressed up as a clown somewhere, and that is projecting into this box. How stinking rad is that? So you could even have like special events. Oh man, you could have like special events where freaking Robert Downey Jr. throws on the Iron Man suit again and appears all over the country doing some sort of talk or some sort of cool thing here. Could even put on small contained plays that people could come watch. Like, how friggin' rad is that? Could also do things because it doesn't have to be a real person. Could also be like a digital person. You can actually start taking some of these virtual influencers and putting them in these things and having people come out and interact with virtual influencers, or even their favorite video game characters or virtual characters that don't necessarily exist. You could take Kratos from God of War, Master Chief. You could take one of the Steve from Minecraft, throw him in here. How cool is that thing? Others are even a reel. I gotta see this reel. Okay, website. Can you work with me here? Here we go. Portal to Tokyo. No, I want to see an actual, yeah, here we go. Here's the Comic-Con reel, of course, using cosplayers. Another great use of this. Oh, and then speaking of AI girlfriends, like, really, this is how we start this with a girl? Oh my God, where's this Japanese matchmaking service? Get these people. Oh, because it's at Comic-Con, that's why. So there were cosplayers at Comic-Con. Oh, no wonder. Okay. That's cool. Oh, Cersei, nice. Well done cosplay. I mean, these people look like real. This guy, nerd dance guy. Oh, karate kick. How awesome, though. I mean, though it's not like truly. We got, I think, Silent Bob, or is that Hellboy or something? Yeah, that's cool. But now that I'm seeing it, like, it's not as so much a hologram as I mean, I guess this is just somebody in like a photo studio, a photo box somewhere, and then they're being projected somewhere else. I mean, I guess it's just like a high quality projection. You definitely could do things like shows inside of this. What would be actually really cool, I think, is for stand-up comedy. So you could have comedians like, I don't know, Bert Kreischer, I feel like, or Tom Segura, or Whitney Cummings, like whoever, and they could actually be doing like a show, like a live comedy show, and you could go to somewhere and actually watch the live comedy show. It really scales a comedian. This is very cool. Yeah, public speeches for companies' newest products, whatever it could be used. If you could even record something and then project it as well, that would be really awesome. But yeah, so that's these live holograms. It's to me like just a really big photo frame, because they've had small versions of this and they just really scaled it up into something very big. Cool. So that was Portal. Back to Indiana here, as we talk about something a little bit more personal, which is gene therapy. People getting gene therapy in their eyes, and surprising scientists. So the headline reads, gene therapy injection to, I guess, fix an eye. Surprised scientists by actually improving vision in both of the eyes. An international team of scientists successfully treated 37 patients suffering from Leber hereditary optic neuropathy, LHON, a disease that causes optic nerve degradation and rapid vision loss. LHON can cause people to become legally blind within a few weeks of the disease onset. It affects 1 in 30,000 people, mostly men starting in their 20s and 30s. A majority of patients carry a specific mutation, which the scientists targeted using a technique called mitochondrial targeting. While the treatment was only applied to one eye, both eyes improved for 78% of the patients. The scientists theorized that this was due to the transfer of viral vector DNA from the injected eye, which was confirmed later with experiments on macaws, on monkeys. The same technology can be used to treat other mitochondrial diseases. That is very cool. So they injected the gene therapy in your right eye, and then weeks later, not only did the right eye improve, but also the left eye. That's a happy science surprise, which does happen sometimes. I'm not sure what this mitochondrial targeting is, but if anyone reading or anyone listening or watching knows what it is, let us know in the comments. What is mitochondrial targeting? Sounds pretty cool, and love that we are solving or curing blindness. I have really poor eyes. And so anything we can do to actually increase vision, I think is awesome. Losing vision is one of my greatest fears, to be perfectly honest. And it seems like scientists are coming really close to solving blindness. They also were able to cure it by doing something to sheep. Weeks ago, I remember reading something about it using another gene technique. I think CRISPR was involved in this one, but they actually cured blindness in sheep. And now they have another therapeutic here for LHON using this mitochondrial targeting. Very cool. Very awesome. Looking forward to where medicine is going to take us. So many things on the horizon with gene therapy. We're going to help so many people in the future with it. I love it. It's one of my favorite investment places. I personally don't have enough money to invest in biology, but I love companies doing biological stuff. Very awesome. And speaking of biological stuff, here's something that's a little bit different, but in the same realm of like genes and physics and little tiny particles. Physicists, actually, before I get to that, let's grab a new window because we're coming here to the end. We got Brooklyn, New York again. Back to Brooklyn. We were already in Manhattan, and now we're in Brooklyn, New York, and Gabriella's window here to talk about a little tiny particle. Maybe it'll help with gene therapy. I doubt it, though. Oh, this is a nice little house, but this is not the window I was expecting here. Very green also for being in Brooklyn outside. A lot of trees. I'm going to grab a new window, though. St. Andrews, Canada. We haven't been to Canada today. Let's hang out here for a second. Where are we seeing here in St. Andrews, Canada, to talk about physicists proving a new type of particle exists in the world. A third type of particle called an anion. Anion. We got proton, we got neutron, and we got anion. And we are Canadian window is actually a little boring here. It's dark and drab, and I'm not feeling this window to talk about the excitement of anions. Moscow, Russia, Matt and Emma's window. Give me something good, Russia. Scientists have found evidence that anions exist. It's any old particle, anion. Anion particles are particle-like objects that were first predicted by theorists in early 1980s. They only exist in 2 dimensions under certain circumstances. When anions move around each other, their collective quantum state shifts, and it might require 3 to 5 or more revolutions before they return to their original state. This property makes them appealing for fields such as quantum computing. Anions represent a whole kingdom of particles with many varieties that can be studied and potentially harnessed in the future, probably for quantum computing. Anions look like anyone when you look at it written, but anions exist, a third type of particle in the universe. I have no idea what I read when I just described the particle here. When anions move around each other, their collective quantum state shifts, and it might require 3 or 5 more revolutions before they return to the original state. So they're in a state, something revolves around it, they change, 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 until finally they get back to their original state, it seems like. So if we're talking about quantum positions, then they have a bunch of different quantum positions that we could use that maybe have more states than 1 and 0. We could have 1 and 0 and 2 and 3 or whatever the other states are. Maybe, I'm really not sure. I'm not a quantum physicist. Still very interesting. Still finding out new particles exist in the world. Like when you start thinking about what's out there and the universe and stuff, you start to get philosophical and you start to feel crazy. But anyons exist. Welcome to the world, Enyon or anyone. And finally, because we're coming close to winter here, we got stunning images of snowflakes that will make us see winter in a whole new light. Nathan Mervoid, former CTO of Microsoft, built a camera with a microscopic lens to capture images of individual snowflakes. Let's look at what these images look like. Mr. Nathan Mervoid, former CTO of Microsoft. If that is what this camera took a picture of and that's not computer generated, that is beautiful. I mean, look at that thing. That's one individual snowflake. I love the like chrome looking like color that it has. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful thing. Oh, here he goes. Here it is again. What an incredibly detailed camera. I wonder what the camera looks like. Dang. And we say that every snowflake is unique, and it definitely, we can see that. And like this snowflake's got all sorts of different pieces. This one's got 3 big fat ones. This one's doesn't have 3 big fat ones. Whatever big fat ones means. Oh, this is cool. Look at this one. Looks different than the other one. So we got 2 different varieties of snowflakes here. We got like a shaped polygonal version, and we got like a triangle version. It's like, it reminds me of trees. We got these like maple leaves over here, and then we got pine needles. Interesting. This is him outside taking pictures, chilling, taking pictures of snowflakes. Here's the camera. Looks very impressive. Don't know what is going on there, but it looks like a very impressive camera. I'm glad that they have a picture of that. How beautiful. Look at that. What good looking snowflakes. Goddamn, Nathan. Really makes me appreciate snowflakes, and I'll definitely think about this picture next time I'm outside sticking this thing out to catch snowflakes. Hope you learned something new. There was so much on today's show. I think it ran a little bit longer than I normally do because there was so much to cover between snowflakes, Japanese matchmaking, and Chinese AI girlfriends. We got gene therapy, injecting our eyes with all sorts of stuff. We had Crunchyroll getting purchased. We got Boston Dynamics. We got little tiny water robots. As I said in the beginning, so much. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button and mash that bell to get a notification every time I upload a new video. Join me every Wednesday for my window wandering show to learn about something new. And if you like my show, share it with somebody you think will get something out of it and maybe make a comment. I would love to interact more on my videos and grow this community over on the GoGo Joe Show OnlyFam. If you want to check that out, look at yesterday's Technology Tuesday video. I hope to see you again, but until I do, I hope you wander somewhere cool because you know it. I love you.